but I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up, seniors are having a Golden Legacy breakfast and keeping healthy with Move It Cayman. Later in the show, you can have your say when we open up the phones for open line and let Cayman know what's on your mind. Talk Today's next on Radio Cayman. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Talk Today. Good to have you tuned in. June disappeared already. Yeah, June just zipped by me. I guess a lot of other people too. Time seems to be moving a lot faster than it used to. I guess maybe that's because I'm getting older. You know, having trouble keeping up. Things just change so quickly. You know, everything just snap. You know, I just got the roundabout by Kings figured out. Now we got to figure it out again. But so it goes, right? All that just part of the ever-changing Cayman Islands. And well, we do have a holiday coming up, right? In July, a long weekend ahead of us here, with the Constitution Day holiday giving us that long weekend. And did you hear? It looks like we're going to have an additional holiday. Yep, in October, MP Chris Saunders' motion to have yet another public holiday was accepted by the government. And the amendment might be made in time for this October. So this new holiday will be named National Day of Wellness. Yeah. Sounds good.
We need it. Too long of a
but
yeah.
But do we really need it? That'll be 13 holidays we have. You know, more than months in the year. 13 holidays, paid holidays at that. For employees, it's great. Now, for employers, it's another story. It's another day you have to pay salaries and no productivity, no money coming in, or you have money coming in, but you're paying double the salary, right? So this is going to be called the National Day of Wellness, and it's seen as a day when we all get health checks, and from what I'm seeing in media, that's how it's being promoted. Yeah, I can see it now. That holiday Monday, people are lining up at HSA, getting health checks. Getting health checks after a weekend of partying, drinking rum and scotch, and smoking ganja. And the nurse takes your vitals, and she says, "Sir, according to this, you're dead." Anyway, moving right along here. Put that on your calendar, though. Yes, in our first segment, we are going to hear about the Golden Legacy Breakfast, and we're also going to be talking about elderly rights, something that we don't often hear about, but certainly that is an issue. And here to tell us more, we have Delmira Bodden, no stranger to us here at Talk Today. She's from the Golden Legacy organization. And we also have in the studio Suzanne Bothwell of Bothwell Law. Ladies, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
So let's start off with the Golden Legacy. Tell us about that organization.
Constitution Weekend is very important to the people of the Cayman Islands. It celebrates both the rights of our guaranteed rights of our people and the democratic system that protects those rights. And we wanted in the District of East End to recognize the senior citizens, not only for their contributions to community, their service to the civil service, in whatever capacity they have contributed, even consultation processes that make it possible for us to have the laws in place and our rights protected. We wanted to recognize them, but also encourage them to continue to participate where it requires their participation, even with the laws there. What I found with the Golden Legacy Breakfast, thanks to Moritz Tortuga Club, who partnered with me to host this breakfast, seeing the importance of it, not only recognizing the Constitution weekend and the holiday that is set aside for Monday, they also saw it as an importance to the people of these islands. So I want to say thank you to Moritz Tortuga Club, and Miss Suzanne Bothwell will be our guest speaker at that event. And we are happy to have her as we delve into human rights. And the breakfast at Moritz, I have to make it clear, is only for persons from the District of East End. And we have a large number of persons that have confirmed already, because we can only accommodate a certain number of persons. But it celebrates our Constitution, it celebrates our people, and we are most privileged to honor them.
So what are the things that does Golden Legacy get involved in the community?
Golden Legacy is the theme that we gave the breakfast, because we normally do sunrise breakfast with Moritz Tortuga Club for our senior citizens. Because this breakfast is close to or within the weekend of the Constitution, the holiday, we named it Golden Legacy as the theme, and we recognize our subject matter is the Constitution and the rights of our elderly.
So how do people reserve space, which is now very limited, right?
What it is, because it's only for the District of East End, I have already did a lot of prep and planning, confirming the venue, the date, the time, the guest speaker, and then we went around and distribute as much flyers as we could. And we're still using Radio Cayman, because, a lot of our senior citizens do listen to Radio Cayman. To give me a call on 924-5716. If you would love to attend this breakfast, it's going to be a phenomenal event happening in East End. And as the sun rises, we rise with greatness, understanding what our Constitution means to us.
Give us that number again.
924-5716.
All right. So that's the number to reserve your seat at the breakfast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you're going beyond just having a nice breakfast here. You're going to be addressing some issues of elderly people.
Yes, we will be. And I'll ask Suzanne to chime in here. And then after that, I will share one of the specific areas that we want some attention to for the District of East End and the Cayman Islands on a whole.
So what is the theme of your address?
Well, it's about the...
Just bring the mic a little closer.
Okay. It's about the relevance of human rights to older persons. I think that we have fetishized, older persons in society. We have historically looked at them from a welfare perspective, as opposed to actually seeing that growing old or aging is a natural part of life, right? And for some peculiar reasons, society continues to struggle with that, and to ensure that as we age, that we can still enjoy the rights and freedoms and responsibilities right up until we take our last breath, and to see us as individuals and human beings that can make decisions, that can continue to learn, who can continue to participate in society, in employment, etc., etc. So when Delmira approached me with this topic, I thought it was a very interesting topic, because it is not something that one would naturally think about as a specific group in human rights. We think about children, particularly as a vulnerable group, but you really don't hear specifically about older persons in human rights. And I think at an international level, that was actually recognized. And when I started looking at our own older persons policy, it was actually said that older persons are not specifically recognized as a group in our own constitution, and that at an international level in 1991, the UN Principles of Older Persons was adopted, and there were about 5 key principles that they, since that time, have been encouraging countries to adopt and develop policies around for older persons specifically. That's independence, participation, care, self-fulfillment, and dignity. And so by Cayman adopting our older persons policy in 2016, creating the Older Persons Council, that didn't come out of thin air. That came out of international recognition that we need to focus on older persons and their rights, them being an integral part of society, and them having the equal right to enjoy all of the different rights and freedoms under our Bill of Rights and any other international convention.
All right. We're going to stick a pin there, and we'll pick it up when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 7 a.m. Sports Report, brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
The Department of Agriculture invites you to a 3-day agro-processing workshop happening July 13th to 15th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Learn practical skills in food safety, good manufacturing practices, and how to make products like sauces and jellies. The cost is $150 per person. Register and make payment by June 30th at the Department of Agriculture's Commercial Center, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Spaces are limited and seats are filling fast. Secure your spot today at doa.gov.ky or call 947-3090.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're here talking about the Golden Legacy Breakfast for East End residents, and more generally about elderly rights in the Cayman Islands. And with me in the studio are Delmira Bodden and Susan Bothwell. And when we took the break there, you are going into some of the things that you're going to be focusing on. But what do you see as, say, the major issues facing elderly people in Cayman today?
I think it's very broad-based. I think that the government and the country has done some good work in trying to identify areas that older persons are at risk and try to address that in some shape or form. But where we have a lot of room for improvement and a lot of work to do is to ensuring that across the board, when decisions are made by government, that they consider how the older person is impacted, and how to ensure that they are not discriminated against, not disadvantaged, and if there is a gap, how to fill the gap, right? For example, I was thinking about something very practical. We had a very wonderful motion proposed by, I think, MP Perlina McGaw and that was passed unanimously in Parliament regarding the duty allowance for traveling, right? And it's up to $1,000. And I thought to myself, wow, I wonder how many older people are getting on the plane to take advantage of that kind of benefit, to make their goods cheaper, or to have that possibility of by bringing things in at a less rate and due to duty waiver rate. And very few. I'm not sure how many of them still have passports. I'm not sure if they have family who can go away on their behalf. And so therefore, I was thinking, that's a good example of, whilst this benefit will capture and alleviate a pressure for a large group of our society, how relevant is it to older persons of a certain age group, particularly those perhaps 75 and older, who may not be traveling as much, who may have physical disabilities or even mental disabilities that prevent them from taking advantage of that kind of financial, gift, I guess, from the government.
Yeah, well, I mean, cost of living is very hard on the general population, but when you're elderly and on some kind of fixed income, with no chance of, trying to increase that in any way.
And we assume it's fixed. Not everybody is eligible for care or support.
Really?
Not everybody.
No.
You have to qualify.
Even if your pension, because, in the break we were talking about a lot of people when we call, say, elderly, missed out on the pension.
Yeah, when pensions became mandatory, it became mandatory late. So inflation and fixed incomes for senior citizens is mostly permanent financial assistance is all they're receiving. With the developmental stage of aging, and we know the issues that senior citizens face, not being able to add to that income a lot of times brings a lot of suffering and instability at home and added stress. Knowing that to pay for the minimum wage, for instance, is something that they have to adhere to. And a lot of them is trying to cope with that, because if they don't qualify through Cynical for home care under their policy, it still don't mean that they don't need somebody with them. So we have not addressed the issues that senior citizens, the reality of it in our country. And one of the areas that I'm very passionate about is medical emergencies from the District of East End. Medical emergencies from the District of East End affects the whole Cayman Islands. Tourism, we have over 1,000 guests in the District of East End or more on any given day, besides our normal population. And based on our Constitution, you have a right to life. And that's just one of the areas that I would focus on, because there should be that right first and foremost instead of a policy. Our Constitution overrides that policy, and there should be provisions in place to ensure that The senior citizens are not dying on the way to the hospital trying to get help.
In East End, you pass a hospital to go to HSA.
To go to HSA, and if they can't, when they assess you, they send you back up the road. All we are saying is not only East End people face medical emergencies, people that are visiting face medical emergencies. It's about time that we ensure that seniors are taken to the closest medical facility. Time matters. Their life matters to us. You don't have to be a senior, but if government would look at the policy, we are not asking for the from the time you're visiting East End or living in East End that you must go to Health City. We are saying only medical emergencies. Whilst the EMT team may assess and say, this is what they think it is, well evidence-driven and experiences of every family in our community, even visitors, even health practitioners that work and live in East End. We have seen when they too have medical emergencies, they were taken to HSA before going to Health City. Whilst I recognize that Health City may not be able to handle everything, I believe that there's an oath and there's a right that we have to put first and foremost, and I'll let Suzanne chime in at this point.
Just to clarify, they're going to HSA because of their coverage or non-coverage.
They need permission.
Yeah, to go to a private hospital.
To go to a private hospital. Whilst recently there was a policy for, I think, cynical as far as employees having access to any of the health facilities. Not all senior citizens is covered under that pilot program. And while we have witnessed persons, I'm telling you, deceased on the way down, we would want to know that the right to life includes the fact that they could have gone to Health City and the outcome would be an outcome in compliance with our Constitution, having the right to life, equality, dignity, and fairness. I believe that the principles should guide every policy, especially to do with this situation.
Ms. Barfield, you want to pick up on that?
Yeah, I think what Delmira is speaking about blends quite nicely with what I was saying before, that there has to be a line through the whole of government and all of its policies that look at the older person. It doesn't matter what department or ministry it is. If you're providing services, if you're providing benefits, if you're providing anything that you provide, you must consider the average person, what we call the person on the omnibus back in the day. We call our Georgetown bus. But you have to consider the older person, just like how you should consider other disabled people or children or something. You need to add that group to it and then modify or enlarge your policies to cater to this group's needs, right? Because it's about aging, it's about ensuring that the society provides services to each group at different stages of life. It is not a gift we're giving you. It is not a favor we're doing for you. As you have a right to participate. That's one of the guiding principles in the older person's policy. So I see that not just about the older person having the right to participate, but conversely, the state creating an environment for the older person to participate. We know that we would soon be living to 100.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We're probably almost there. In 2050, 1 in 6 people in the world will be over 65. Right? So this is not a phenomenon that's just unique to Cayman. It's a global phenomenon. And I noticed that our older persons policy is the cap at 2035. So we have 9 years, according to our own government policy, to implement all of the things that they aspire to implement through its own policy, right? We have done some good work in small pockets, but it has to be a national effort to cater to this group. And you know, older persons is not a homogeneous group. You have the young older person, you know, who's active and quite frankly doesn't consider themselves older, you know, and it shouldn't be a stigma to being older. And you have those who are quite able and capable, but they need help. And then you have at the end of life those who need care.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to look at the group not as just as one group, but look at the needs at different stages of life, which comes back to what I originally said, that growing old is a part of life.
Now, I'm not sure if you get into this, but what about the right to work? Because
employment is
it's like you turn 65 and it's like, okay, bye-bye, you can't work anymore.
Right. So that's something that I looked at. The issue of healthcare and employment were two areas that I looked at. And on employment, I looked at the concept of, because when you look at older persons and work, you are then looking at the retirement age.
Mm-hmm.
You are focusing on this concept in law called the retirement age, and it brings up a lot of questions about, well, should we have an actual retirement age? What happens if you don't have a retirement age in your jurisdiction? What are the consequences of having a retirement age? And there actually was a study on this subject, and they found very quickly that it has to be, even if you have a retirement age or you don't have a retirement age in your legislation, it's about the policies that come with it. It's about the policies around employment, the laws around employment, and also have to look at the pension, the older person's pension. And we touched on this, that Cayman has permanent assistance. And I think it raises a very valid point as to, do we need to start thinking about older person's pension as opposed to older person's permanent assistance? Because you are still means testing for older persons, right? And in a lot of jurisdictions, it's not a means test, it's a basic human right level, living level of older person's pension, you know. And we have to face reality. Not everybody has a private pension that can meet their needs. As a matter of fact, a lot of persons that I know, they are struggling on their private pensions because they've lost investment. And we have to recognize that we have a problem with our private pension investments. It has not yielded the benefit that we expected over the last 30 years.
And some people I hear their pension is running out.
Oh, it is going to run out.
It's going to run out.
I believe, it is going to run out. It was only for a certain number of years.
Yeah. All right, we have to pause here, but if you want to ask a question, you're welcome to call on 1-800-534-8255, courtesy of Flo. Also reach the studio on 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp 925-3261. We'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Hi, this is Joey Hugh, leader of the opposition. On behalf of myself and the entire opposition, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Radio Cayman on your 50th anniversary. For 5 decades, you have served as a trusted voice for our people, informing, educating, and connecting our islands with integrity and dedication. Your commitment to public service, broadcasting, has strengthened our democracy and preserved our Caymanian identity. We honor this milestone and the many men and women who built and sustained this national institution over the years. Congratulations on your 50 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. We do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello, Charlo.
Yes.
This is McKeever Bush.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've been listening quite a while. I was hanging on, in fact, but I would have to leave at this point. But anyway, it's very, very interesting topic and very, very good discussion in regards to the benefits and rights to senior citizens in the country. Over the years, I should say, and I should say beginning, not say beginning, but let me change that to say, I think a lot from 1984 to now, there has been tremendous increase in the way, in benefits and the way we treat senior citizens. Two things I want to say. There's a lot being done. There is the council, I think, still led by Miss Lucille Seymour. I think, I know they have the ideas, they have the push to get things done for seniors. They're doing a lot still. Two things I want to say. For instance, the country at large, many people do different things to help seniors. Those of us in the community who take it as a part of our community work to get things done for senior citizens, to make sure that they get food when we can get it, etc. The one thing is that the last funeral I attended in East End was Mrs. Zina Connolly, who was a great friend of my family, my wife's family, and she, in fact, was the babysitter for my wife. And my wife was a baby 70 years ago. Ms. Zina had to leave East End to come to West Bay Golden Age home. Mm-hmm. I see where they took my name off and put up something else there, but I didn't get into government to put my name on anything. Anyway, the Ms. Zina always wanted to be in East End. Every time we visited her, when she was in East End at the home there, and when she was at her home, we constantly visited her. And I am using her name just as an example because there are many senior citizens in East End. And the one thing I said at her funeral, I didn't want it to sound political. I didn't want it to be political because I've talked to the present representative, and he has shown sympathy, agreed with me, talked to me about it, and he has, I think, put some plans in place for a senior citizens home in East End. That is needed as much as anything else is needed. One thing I know is certain, taking our very older senior citizens out of their environment, what they know is not healthy for them. They're not happy. Mm-mm. And I'm not saying that they are not Golden Age home. They are well cared for. Those people down there work hard. And I know Golden Age home. I built that, got it into operation and development in 1996. And don't ask about the fight that I had to get it. Oh, my God. Don't ask about, you didn't need that. People must take care of their own. This or, from one excuse to the next. I said, no. We are going to get a senior citizens home in West Bay. And so I fought for that. At the same time, we were pushing for others because I was still responsible for social services at the time. And so the senior citizens home in East End is very, very much needed. And I bring this public. I don't come on the radio often. In fact, I don't know if I ever come since last year to say anything on Radio Cayman except possibly an announcement of some kind, but not on issues or policies. This is definitely needed. We have come a long way. When I got there, senior citizens, Charlo, were getting $25 a month.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that depended on who they voted for and which shop they were getting it from.
Mm-hmm.
I made it my business and my fight because that's one of the things that I felt was needed. We needed to do things for our seniors. People were getting old, and it's 40 years ago now, 40 and a half years ago, maybe 41 years ago. We have a lot of work to do. Those ladies there are bringing up some very important points, and I hope that powers that be will listen, because there are things that needs to be done, that can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Harleys, for instance, gave, I think, on Thursdays a 10% discount for senior citizens. I think it's a 10%.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, I think other supermarkets could if they're not doing it. I haven't experienced it, but yes, that it needs to be. It can be done in today's cost of living. My God, anything is a help to people who are on a fixed income or only depending on what they get from government. On the seamen, for instance, I have constantly, it was part of my campaign, that there must be and should be a law for the seamen's benefit, not where somebody can play with it in the finance committee or in a budget debate or whatever, but something that is in law and more difficult for people to change than just willy-nilly in finance committee saying, I'm not voting for it, or some fault or another, this one getting and the next one needs. You know the talk.
Mr. Bush, I got to break in on you because I'm running out of time.
But I'm sorry, I'm cutting off now too. I'll run out of time because I was waiting. But
thank you so much.
But thank you for the call.
Yes, it is needed.
All right. Have a good afternoon.
I totally agree with Mr. McKeever Bush that the seniors retirement home in East End, it was promised to be rebuilt. It was sad that Miss Ina Connor went to West Bay. It was difficult for her family to be back and forth.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We have enough senior citizens in East End. The Pines is full most times. The Golden Age, they transferred persons from East End to Golden Age. The government has to pay attention to the senior citizens of this country. I know they've done a lot. But if they have to pass Health City and they don't have a seniors home to go to, and they cannot get approval under Cynical for home care, but still needs help, and we turn a blind eye, what are we doing to the very people that built these beautiful islands? Their legacy alone, we should honor and protect them. Their human rights is something that we have to adhere to. They don't have a voice, but we are speaking up for them today.
So
and I pray.
Would both of you say that while Mr. Bush is saying we've come a long way, we have a long way to go still?
We still got a long way to go.
I agree. I mean, my mother, Mrs. LeCloy, worked as Mr. Bush's Director of Social Services for many, many years. So I think it was 17 years she was in social services. So she was quite aware of the issues, and me being her daughter was right there beside her. But so I do fully endorse and agree with what he said. We are a society that care about our older persons, our old people. Mm-hmm. But we have a policy that we have adopted. We need an implementation plan to bring it to life.
So that policy is far from being
I think
completed.
We have the Older Persons Council, and I know that the council has been doing a lot of work the last couple of years.
Yes.
But I do believe that when it comes to implementation, that has to be very focused. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of areas to cover. We're talking about people with disabilities. We're talking about their access to good health care, consistent health care, quality health care, to meet them where they are. We are talking about the right to access, to education and stimulation. Just because you reach a certain magic number doesn't mean that your brain don't work.
Right.
We have the intergenerational hub in Georgetown, but we have a population of 90,000 people. So we need to think about, is it value for money? Is it worthwhile for our society that we look to have these things in the pockets where people are, in their neighborhoods, right? It doesn't have to be big and amazing. We have town halls in most of our neighborhoods. Church halls, are they being used? And our programs exist for our older persons, right?
And older people have so much knowledge and experience to share.
Absolutely. And their ability to get from point A to B, transportation, is another issue. So we have done a lot, and I would never take that away. And we still care, I'm so happy about that. But we do have to, I'm thinking about, I have a little silver in my hair on the left-hand side, so I feel I can see right down the tunnel. And I'm thinking about,
It just gives you a little character.
Yeah, in about 20 years, what kind of life do I want to live?
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so I'm not going to have no boy run up and down for me. I need to be autonomous and independent. I need to be able to be capable for as long as I can be capable. And then what?
Yeah.
Right? So
it's nice to know that there's a safety net.
That's right. And psychological safety, physical safety is important to all of us, irrespective of your age.
So the breakfast is
this weekend? Is this upcoming weekend. It's going to be at Moritz Tortuga Club. And again, my number is 924-5716 for the persons from East End who has not confirmed as yet. We still have some spaces, and we would be very happy to have a moment of silence for those that have passed on, and we want to acknowledge and also provide more information on their rights at this breakfast and how they can access more services. We understand it requires change in policy, and it's across many different subject matters for the senior citizens to be holistically their rights adhered to, and they are able to access what they should be accessing as far as their human rights. One quick thing before you go.
Quick.
For persons in East End that cannot afford school supplies, I have 10 $100 certificates that will help those families that are unemployed and in need, and I will be distributing those certificates the 1st of August.
Delmara Bodden and Susan Bothwell, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see what's making news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. A new director is set to lead Cayman's Customs and Border Control Service. Marlon Bodden takes up the post on July 1st, bringing more than 30 years of public service experience, including senior leadership within the CBC. Government says his appointment ensures continuity as the agency strengthens border security and modernizes operations, while outgoing Director Bruce Smith is thanked for his years of service. In international headlines, Bermuda's warning of an active cyber threat targeting Fortinet firewall and VPN devices. Authorities say the so-called FortiBleed campaign has already compromised tens of thousands of systems globally, exploiting weak passwords and lack of multi-factor authentication. Officials are urging organizations to act immediately by resetting their credentials, updating their systems, and checking for signs of unauthorized access. Comcast is planning a major corporate split to separate its media and connectivity businesses. The move would create two publicly traded companies, with NBC Universal and Sky forming a standalone media entity, while Comcast focuses on broadband and wireless services. The company says the change will allow each business to grow independently, with the transition expected to take about a year pending approvals. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Cayman Brac artist Holroy Eric Lorenzo Walton, affectionately known as Roy, was born on August 13, 1936 in Bogasan, Cayman Brac. Roy's upbringing in the Cayman Islands, rich with maritime traditions, fueled his love for shipbuilding and the sea. From assisting in the collection of boat timbers to his involvement in the turtling industry, Roy's fascination with the sea was evident. At 16, he embarked on his seafaring career with Colonel Shipping and later with National Boat Carriers, where he honed his skills and drew inspiration from the ocean. Despite the demands of his career, Roy's passion for art flourished, creating paintings, sculptures, and crafts that captured the essence of maritime life in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and a little weather update here. The afternoon forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies, and the current conditions here in Georgetown, it is 90 degrees, but it feels like 106, and I believe that because when I walked across the parking lot out there, it was feeling hot out there. And the winds out of the south-southeast at just over 7 knots with a relative humidity of 70%. And the forecast for this evening, we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, temperatures in the low 80s, winds out of the east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, seas moderate with waves running at 3 to 5 feet. Sunset at 7:06, and the outlook, an increase in cloud cover can be expected late Tuesday as atmospheric moisture increases with the passage of a tropical wave to the south of the area. Well, those tropical waves have been coming, but thankfully, no development, right? Well, the government is encouraging people to live a more healthy lifestyle by getting into motion with a campaign called Move It. And joining me now to tell us more about that is the Deputy Governor, Franz Manderson, Chief Nursing Officer, Felicia McLean, and Redver Ebanks. head coach in the Department of Sport. Folks, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Thank you for having us, yes.
So, refresh our memory now about what Move It is all about.
Yeah, so Move It Cayman is a national movement challenge that was put on by the Ministry of Education in partnership with 5 other ministries. We had Department of Education, Department of Youth and Sport, or Ministry of Youth and Sports and Culture, Ministry of District Admin. We also had the Deputy Governor's Officer and the Premier and Cabinet Office all came on board to launch a national movement challenge, which encouraged the residents of the Cayman Islands to get active for 3 months. So we kickstarted it out for the DG's 5K, and it comes to a close this coming Saturday, July the 4th. And we were just trying to get people to at least move 150 minutes per week to get active, and because that will help to reduce their risk factors for non-communicable diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, cancer. It plays a big part in improving your overall health and wellness. And our STEP survey had shown us that only 2.8% of the population have 0 risk factors. And one of those risk factors is movement or activity. So by getting people active, we're increasing that in our population to have us have a better rate by the time we do our next STEP survey.
So you made this a sort of competition, right? There are teams?
We did. We had a little bit of both. We had the schools, which was amazing. Each of them did their own things to get their kids active and their families. We had workplaces that got involved and did things with their workplaces. And then we had individuals, communities. Everyone could join and be a part of it through a Team Fit app, which allowed them to see and track the UCOTs with their movement and activity getting points.
DG, this is right up your alley, right?
Yes, sir. I was so proud when the ministry decided to launch the wellness initiative at the DG's 5K. And I have seen firsthand the benefits of getting out and getting active. One of the great stories that I tell is about 3.5 years ago, I had a lady come to me after the DG's 5K, and she said, DG, in January, I could not walk a mile. Today, I walked 3 miles, and it has changed my life. My diabetes medication has been reduced because I am out getting exercise. I'm doing it with my family. My grandson joins me some mornings, some afternoons. And you know what, sir? I am so motivated that I'm going to do the half marathon in December. So that was a lady that could not walk a mile in January was planning to walk 13 miles in December. But more importantly, she was improving her health. So I commend Minister Cathy and the ministry, Ms. Felicia and the team for getting us moving. It's so very important that we get out there and exercise. I had a heart attack, and I was in a gym when that happened. And the doctor said to me, Franz, you're alive today because you had been exercising. You were fairly healthy when that happened. If you had not been exercising, we would not be talking today. So what the ministry is attempting to do is stop heart attacks, stop people becoming diabetics, improving your health. Prevention is much, much better than cure. So I am a testament of if you take care of yourself, you can live longer. So I commend the ministry, and I tell the people of the Cayman Islands, get out, get active, support what the ministry is doing. Promote wellness for yourself. This is your business. So 100% behind the initiative, and I said to my wife, no, we are going to do a lot more exercising together when we retire. There's no excuses. You can't say you don't have any time. I don't have more time now, right? You have a lot of time. Make use of that time. Get up early in the morning. Go for a nice walk. It's so refreshing, and get healthy.
Now, you mentioned something that this lady's diabetes medication was reduced. Now, I don't think that a lot of people are aware that movement.
Yes.
I mean, we always hear about diet in relation to diabetes, right?
Well, when you're moving, you're burning calories. So if you think about a diabetic who has to count calories and potentially
medicate according to the carbs that they're eating. If you're exercising and you're burning that calories, well, that's going to affect the amount of insulin you would potentially need to then break down that sugar in your body. So for sure, and actually the Movement Challenge came out of a diabetic conference that I went to, and I recognized that another Caribbean country had done a national movement challenge, and that's where the idea was born, from a diabetic conference. So yes, movement will help with diabetes, with high blood pressure, with stroke, even with cancer, because you're getting healthier. Your body is in a healthier state, as he mentioned. And if you're in a better state, if illness does come, you are already better off.
Movement cures a lot of things.
For sure. And it's something we can do, and it doesn't cost us anything other than our time. And like he says, we live busy lives and we get caught up, but we're trying to encourage people to partner with someone, your husband, your wife, your friend, your sister, your family, and hold each other accountable to just be active, because it's the one thing that we can do without a whole lot of cost in that regard.
Move, you keep the rust away. Right?
Yes. And so this Saturday, we're going to have this all-day event starting at 6 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, starting with a 1-mile walk run for those that want to do that 6 o'clock morning walk run. And then there's a lot of activities, and I'll let Redver share later. But we're encouraging you, and DG is supporting and saying this is important. So we need our families and our communities to come out. I know it's the beginning of the summer, and we all want to go into that lazy mode. Before we go there, let's have a good family activity and show our kids and our family what it means to be active and the benefits that we're going to get from that.
Redver, Ebanks, what have you been doing as part of this campaign?
Well, I have been
just bring that mic over a little bit to you.
Sorry, I have been tasked with organizing the finale. So we have quite a different variety of sports and activities for the kids to come out and do and their families to come out and do on that day, just to culminate everything that has been going on for the last 3 months.
Where's this going to be?
At the John Gray School campus.
Yeah, so we've got the use of the atrium, we've got the use of the netball and basketball court and the gymnasium. So it's a full sporting event. That 1 mile is going to be a loop around the schools onto Walker's Road and back. So it's kind of like that school exercise area zone. We've got all that available. We've also catered to our seniors. So there will be senior activities happening that start at 9 o'clock, because we know they don't come out quite as early. But starting 9 o'clock, we'll have our opening ceremony, followed by a host of stuff, whether it be basketball, cricket, netball, yoga, Zumba classes. You'll just be full of activities from 6 o'clock basically until 3, and there'll be prizes that people can get. We'll have a little passport that people can say, well, I went to the netball station or I went to the basketball station, and then they can get a prize for attending and participating in those different events. So we really are trying to cater to everyone. We will have bouncing castles as well, because we recognize the smaller kids.
Can't leave out the bouncing castle.
Listen, got to have something for those smaller kids to do as well. And that is still exercise. Bouncing up and down will burn more calories than you know.
So the teams that have been competing now, are they going to be recognized?
So that'll come later. So at the end, after this Saturday, there'll be a link that'll go out where we kind of survey again how the teams have been doing, how individuals have been doing, the workplaces in the schools. And based on that, then we'll have a public announcement about what that actually entailed and then do the rewards accordingly. But we've got to get that survey and stuff back in. So they won't get it at that day, but they will get the link to then complete the final survey at the end of their participation of the 3-month challenge.
What kind of feedback have you been getting since this started?
So I would tell you, I would have loved to have more of the stories that DG has, but truth be told, it was quicker for people who are already active to sign up than it was for people who were inactive. We do have probably about 30%, if members in the beginning phases, of people who weren't as active, but the majority were people who were already active. But I think that, there have been trickles throughout the time where people who weren't active found ways to get involved. And so we're really interested to see what the data shows. And I don't want to spoil it and say that this is what it is, but that's what it was looking like in the beginning.
Yeah. And I think, we're starting.
Yeah.
So if I look back to the DG's 5K, we started in 2014 with 750 people showing up. Last year, this year it was 3,000. So we're starting. And until people get into that habit, the ministry continuing to push the initiative, then I think next time we'll see more participation. So I think we should, I agree we should have more, but it's starting. So the idea is to create a culture of wellness.
Yes.
and to get people to say, listen, my body is my temple, and I'm be careful what I put in it, and I'm careful how I treat it, and then maybe you can live a bit longer. That is my goal now, is to exercise as much as I can so I can enjoy a happy retirement. That's, you've done that very well, sir.
I haven't even retired yet.
Well, you are, I think, living a little slower life than I used to see you on the TV, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. But that's what we want. We want to be able to, at some point, be able to slow down and then have a happy retirement. But if you're on medication, if you're having to go to the hospital every couple of days, that's not really what we want for our people. So, like I said, I commend the ministry for not just saying, let's just do a 5K, let us do 3 months of wellness. And then the next time, let us do 4 months. And let's keep building until we have a year where everyone is now become the habit. And people say, well, I don't have time, I don't have a place. During COVID, I was doing a 5K on my driveway, okay?
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. And it worked. It worked. So you can find a place. You can walk around your house. You can walk in your living room. There was this article that I read of a man who did a marathon in his living room, running in a spot during COVID.
Just running in place.
Running in place. So if you really want to make it a priority, you will.
Yeah, you just have to say, I'm going to start, right? Because, I don't know, I've been doing some movement myself for about 3 weeks now.
Yay!
And it does, once you make yourself do it, it becomes an automatic thing, as if you can keep with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, it's changing a habit. It doesn't come easy, but it comes with making that first step. And the ministry was eager to encourage the population to get healthier. There's no good collecting data and knowing that we are 70% of the population are overweight or obese and doing nothing about it. There's no good knowing that 1 in 3 have high blood pressure and doing nothing about it. So we do need the community to partner with us and do the activities, but we're doing our best to try and educate them, give them opportunities that will allow them to see the importance of physical activity as one of the risk factors for these non-communicable diseases and make a difference in the overall health of our population. Our young people need to know that exercise is key so that they don't develop the poor habits of not prioritizing their health and then making that difference. And so all around, it's been a really amazing thing to be a part of, with the schools getting on board, with the workplaces getting on board, and for everyone that joined in, whether it was for a little bit or for the whole 3 months. It's about making that first step, and we're partnering with the community to help us get healthier.
Redver, you said you're a head coach. Now, do you get involved in broader athletics, or just keeping fit, or you just specialize in coaching a team or a sport?
So I coach basketball, but this time of the year is also what we call off season. So there's no basketball going on, no leagues or anything going on the island. So to keep our athletes fit and stuff like that, we have what's called off-season training. So we've been doing beach training with them, lifting weights, calisthenics, a host of different little things to keep them active during the off time.
But do you see more young people being encouraged or taking up exercise and moving?
Yes, in our basketball program alone, we have almost 200 kids. So there is definitely a lot of movement going on, and I know for a fact our football coaches, our netball coaches all have decent numbers as well. So yes.
So a lot of young people taking up a healthy lifestyle as far as keeping their body in shape. Yeah.
Let me just say from first-hand experience, my son works with Coach Rev, and he speaks so highly of Coach Rev and what he is doing for our young people. My son is the Coach of the Year, I think. He won that, so I have to brag a little bit about my son, Franz Manderson Jr. But I met with the sports department a couple of months ago to talk to them about leadership. And emphasize to them the important role that they play. So it's not just in health and wellness, but keeping crime down. When our young people are engaged, when our young people are working with the coaches like this, they're gonna move away from the life of crime. Yeah. In 2011, 70 juveniles were convicted in court, 70, of a range of offenses. In 2024, that number was 14. 14. So when our population was 60,000, it was 70, and when our population is 85,000, it was 14. Now, how did that happen? It happened because of programs like this, where our coaches are getting those young people into programs and keeping them for a life of crime. I'm a product of that. Growing up in West Bay, playing football every afternoon, I never had no time to go be mischievous. So not only is it health and wellness, but you're also then being part of a solution, keeping fit, keeping our young people away from a life of crime. So what Boys to Men does, what the coach does, what education does, all these different groups that get people out and exercising. You can't commit a burglary when you're on the track, you know. So there's no downside to this, and that's why I'm so happy to support what the ministry is doing. There's no downside to wellness.
But sports, like organized basketball, organized football. I mean, when you have young people involved in that, it's teaching them more than the sport, right? I mean, it's discipline and a lot of life lessons, right?
Definitely.
What are some of the things that you pass on?
You learn to work with others. You learn how to lead yourself. Most of the time, I mean, you have to go through some kind of hardships, so you know how to deal with hardships. And also knowing how to have humility when you are winning. So it's a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and commitment. I mean, it takes commitment for the kids to get up and be a part of it. And so that's something that's going to be great for their work ethic later on, that, you know, whenever the trials come, whatever happens, you stay committed to that teamwork, to that drive, to what you said you were going to start, you're going to finish. And so we see lots of things when you look at the social determinants of health, and having those groups and those networks that'll help to deter from other greater things that happen in a society. And so, like he says, movement, health and wellness all ties in again with activity, with social gatherings and being a part of these things. They all play together to help the community on whole be a healthier, better community, and crime goes down, productivity of our youth and our next generation rise in their ability to take on new challenges and to set goals for themselves. They'll find mentors, like Franz Jr. per se, to say, you know, look at where he's come from, look at what he's done and where he's going, and I want to be like him. And so you get that role modeling as well. I'm a product from track and field as well, under Miss Rocket growing up and learning that and representing the island. So when our kids get the opportunity to represent the island overseas, it's a whole other thing. So lots of benefits for sure from movement. But the list goes on and on.
You mentioned a few health conditions, hypertension, diabetes, that are more prevalent in our community than we want.
Yes.
Have we ever compared ourselves to other communities to see where we stand in comparison?
Unfortunately, we're not unique in the world. So even with the HEARTS program, which was something the ministry is going to be rolling out later this year with a pilot, which is a clinical pathway for treating high blood pressure that's more standardized. So everyone would get the same blood pressure medicine and the same test to manage their high blood pressure, to reduce that, because cardiovascular disease is the number one killer, not only in the Cayman Islands, but in the Americas. So that whole region. And we're all trying to do better at managing that, because cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, stroke, it's a preventable disease. So if you're living well and you're active and you know your numbers and you're reducing your risk factors, you can actually prevent yourself from getting those, unless it's a genetic predisposition. Yeah. But for the most part, it's preventable. And so we're all working towards that, same as our percentage of overweight and obese. That's common around the world as well. The thing about it is that we're a small population in general. And so knowing the numbers, we did it 12 years ago and it hadn't changed. We didn't do much to make a difference. So we need to start being more active in doing things to reduce those risk factors. So looking at activity, looking at what we eat, which is our next pillar, looking at knowing our numbers. Do we have high blood pressure? Do we have high blood sugar? And not being afraid to be tested and be checked out when we can. Also looking at alcohol and tobacco. Those are the 5 risk factors that we looked at with the STEP survey. And these are 5 things that we can personally do to decrease our chances of getting any one of those diseases.
Fear of finding out, is that a barrier for people to actually go and get checked once a year?
I mean, for some, believe it or not, it is. I mean, the STEP survey showed alone that there was I don't remember the actual number, a percentage who had never had their blood pressure checked or never had their blood sugar checked, which blows my mind because we have the pop-up fairs with the churches, we have the pop-up fairs with other things that happen, so you could get it done then without any cost. The service clubs, Lions. So how do you never stop at one of those and just check it? It blows my mind. So it must be a bit of a fear to know, like, what if there really is something and I can't afford to treat it?
Yeah, I think was it Lions or was one of the service clubs were in promoting their checks, and they told us a story about this man came and they checked him, and it was a physician there because they have a physician on there to check these people, and when they checked his blood pressure, the doctor says, "Call an ambulance. I'm admitting you to a hospital."
Yes, yeah.
And he'd just been walking around with this
and in all
dangerously high blood pressure.
It's a silent killer is what it's called. So high blood pressure is often silent because you don't see the damage it's doing to your kidneys. You don't see the damage it's doing inside. You don't necessarily feel it. You could walk around and feel normal and have a really high blood pressure because your body's kind of adapted to the fact that this is your new norm when it's really unhealthy for you. So sometimes it's also that people don't do it because they say, well, I feel fine.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, let's make sure people know about the event.
So Saturday, John Gray. So we asked everyone to arrive by 6:00 because the walk run is going to launch at 6:00 at the John Gray's bus park area. And then we will do that, followed by some stretch yoga stuff that happens after. And at 9:00, we'll have our official opening ceremony. And then throughout the day, there'll be different activities. We ask people to come and spend the day with us at the John Gray School in Georgetown, across from the T.E. Macfield track. And so just come have a good day with us. Let's get moving. It's free. So just participating in all the events, everything there's free. There's chances to win prizes because everyone loves a good prize. And then there'll be food trucks out there that they can purchase food from if they choose to, if they're staying the whole day with us. And we should end everything by 3:00, so you still have your afternoon. Imagine that.
And what are some of the things that people are going to be able to participate in?
You have basketball. He'll be doing some fun games, netball, cricket. They're going to get to see exhibitions with taekwondo and boxing. And obviously we have a lot of stuff for the seniors, chair yoga, Connect 4, shooting. We also have box fit for seniors. And we're going to culminate all of that with a soca aerobic dance party.
Can't beat that.
Top it off.
So I think I started at 2 or 2:30. So that'll be the finale with everyone hopefully getting involved and being active. And then we should be done by about 3:30 the latest. We'll have everyone back on their regular Saturday duties. But a really great day. So we're grateful for Youth and Sports partnering with us and putting all the different events together, and all of the service clubs that are coming in there and that are joining free of their time and giving that so that we can have this event happening. It's been a huge partnership by public and private, and we want to just say thank you to all of them as well.
Yeah. Well, Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, Chief Nursing Officer Felicia McLean, and Head Coach Redver Ebanks, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Bryan, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition. 50 golden years. Happy birthday, Radio Cayman. I'll never forget in 1988 when Hurricane Gilbert was passing through. My family and I and my mom were all in the middle school hall, staying protected. And while so many people were nervous and scared, throughout all the chaos of the noise and the wind, there was one reassuring voice being heard, and that was Radio Cayman, always being there for us through the good and the bad. Happy birthday, Radio Cayman, from my family, from my constituency, Georgetown Central, and all the People's Progressive Movement. Happy birthday.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And it is open line from here until 2:30. So, you can feel free to pick up the phone, give me a shout. Numbers to call 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. You can also reach the studio on 949-8037, 949-6990, or on WhatsApp, 925-3261. And let us know what's on your mind. And I know if you didn't catch the top of the show, I was talking about this new holiday that is was accepted in the House by the government. It was moved by MP Chris Sanders. No, it was just accepted. The government accepted it was a private member's motion, and the government accepted it. But from what I'm seeing in the media, it's possible that the amendment that would be needed will be put in place before October, when this is supposed to be observed, and it's being promoted as a health consciousness, because of course that is very important, that we do bring people's attention to their health, which is what we just got through talking about. But apparently it's going to be called the National Day of Wellness, and encourage people to do health checks and such. So that's going to give us like 13 holidays, 13 paid holidays that we'll have, putting us up there pretty high on the average for most countries. And at 13, that's one more than per month, right? We have 12 months, got 13 holidays. So I'm sure as an employee, you won't be complaining about that, but as employers might take a different view of that, another paid holiday. Well, I've been seeing over the weekend here young Caymanians showing off their talent overseas. Yep. Super C winning the DJs at Original Dance Hall Thursdays in Jamaica. And the most surprising one that I saw was to find a Caymanian on the ice playing professional hockey in the National Hockey League. How do you like that, huh? Caymanian Jackson Cover. He was drafted by the Ottawa Senators in the first round. Yeah, in the first round he was drafted. So congrats to Jackson Cover, Caymanian playing pro hockey. That's one sport I never really got into. But I hope he knows how to fight, because those pro hockey guys, they're quick to jump into a brawl, right? Yeah. I went to a fight once, and a hockey game broke out, believe it or not. And over in Italy, the Cayman Youth Choir is getting standing ovations for their beautiful sound. They're performing at the Verona Garda Summer International Festival in Italy, and they're performing with choirs from all around the world, and they're being well received from the videos that they've been sending back. So congratulations to them. And Cayman Arts Festival placed a post online on Facebook saying, from the Cayman Islands to Italy, our young voices are soaring. For many of these young singers, this is more than an international tour. It is a life-changing experience. It is the reward for years of commitment, countless rehearsals, and the courage to dream beyond our shores. They are not only growing as musicians, but also as confident young ambassadors for the Cayman Islands. Every performance, every rehearsal, every new friendship, and every standing ovation is a reminder of the incredible power of music to connect people across cultures and languages. We couldn't be prouder of these remarkable young people and the way they are representing our islands with talent, humility, and joy. I looked at some of the videos that are online there, and they're certainly doing a fantastic job. So hats off to them. Hats off. Yep. They're doing real well over there. And what else is going on? What else is on your mind? Pick up the phone, express yourself, and give me a shout. Let's see. Taking a look at today's edition of the Cayman Compass. Interesting story on here by James Whitaker about the housing shortage. Headline says, housing shortage fuels affordability crisis for aspiring home owners. Of course, that is something that we've talked about on a number of occasions right here on Talk Today. The difficulty of people getting on that first rung of the home ownership ladder. It can be a little extra tough. And, James Whitaker in this article actually, documents some actual personal experiences that people went through in order to, get that first home, getting that first, getting their foot on the first rung of that home ownership ladder. And, among the things, I guess you could say that would take away from this is that it is difficult for many people to get into a home. And even if you can qualify for, the actual loan amount, you have enough income, there are still stumbling blocks along the way because of additional things that the bank throws in there that you have to commit to in order to actually get the loan carried through. And it's not just about you making enough money, having the salary to support the actual loan itself and to service that loan. And also, we all dream, of that first home being, again, a single family home, as they would call it. Maybe a 2-3 bedroom, maybe, with a little yard for the children to play in. But in 2026, maybe that has to be adjusted as the first home for many people, even though that's not what they may have envisioned. But going into a condo is much more realistic for many people than it is actually having a house, because of cost, simply because of cost. Whether you would try to build one yourself or go out and buy a house, you probably might find it easier to buy a condo. But I know many Caymanians, what they want is that single family home. And actually, this story in the Compass gets into that because one of the people that they spoke to saying they had to re-examine their Caymanian dream, and that single family home was not going to become a reality, and coming to deal with the reality of what is out there as far as what you can afford, even if you're making a pretty good salary, right? Even if you're making a pretty good salary, it still can be hard. It's 15 minutes going up to 2 o'clock. Time for us to take a little break. So be right back. Give me a call.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Hey, this is Vashti, the proudly Caymanian singer. I want to say a huge congratulations to Radio Cayman on 50 years. Radio Cayman has been supporting local music from day one. I can remember driving in my mother's car at 17 years old and hearing my song on the radio for the first time. It was such an exhilarating feeling. So I want to say a big, huge congrats on 50 years and continue supporting local music the way that you do.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And we do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Charlo.
Hi there.
No bad, sir. Fantastic.
Well, what's up with you today?
Mr. Charlo, you know what I think. Cayman is shorter.
What?
And I think very much shorter too. We should have, I think, like, create like cartoons, movies about our local heroes, and poke fun at politics and stuff.
So you have to talk to the TV people about that, I guess.
It's out on a lot, and then a lot more plays, and they need to do more plays and stuff to it. A lot of people, I believe, would like to see that type of entertainment, really flourishing in Cayman. See our local heroes and stuff, and on in that sort of light. But Mr. Charlo, yes, what I did now, Mr. Charlo, I did a little short story.
A short story instead of a poem?
Yes, it was sort of a jokey sort of a story. It's called Mr. Fantastic. It was a story by Bobo and TD, like a Caymanian story now.
Yeah.
And what do you think I should start reading right now? Wait till next 5 minutes.
5 minutes? What are you going to do in the meantime? Okay, it's a short story, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a short story.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're on.
It's sort of a tribute to Mr. Franz Manderson.
Okay.
So here goes now. TD, guess who I saw today in town? Bobo, who you saw now? Don't tell me you saw Shaggy. No, TD, it wasn't Shaggy. It was our own Mr. Fantastic. Not Mr. Bombastic. Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Franz. He's still number one, And he did a fantastic job while in office as well. Bobo, we wish him and his family all the best in the future. He was and still is a great man. Well, TD, you must be feeling fine as well. I see you with that 345 beer in your hand. So tell me now, TD, how you feel drinking that beer? Fantastic. Come on now, TD. Fantastic. Well, you being smart now, TD. Tell me something. How does it feel to be a local? Fantastic. Well, TD, you got me outsmarted right there. Fantastic. The renaming of the Radio Cayman building was also a fantastic event. TD, I tell you what, you have a fantastic day. Written by the poet laureate, Greg Brown.
All right.
What do you think about it, Mr. Jallo?
Oh, it's good. It's a good little piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to take a little turn back to what I used to do a long time ago, writing the little plays and stuff, writing little stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And try to document some stuff that I think would would be good to document. And yes, sir, Mr. Charlo, I think if we do like some well, you said that they got to talk to the television people about that, and I think they'd make a lot of money too.
Well, we would have to see about that, but
I mean,
yeah, we're not too much into animation here at Radio Cayman.
When it concerns Mr. Trump, I mean, it's so many people.
Mr. Trump? Did you say Mr. Trump?
Yeah, Mr. Trump. They just like the name Mr. Trump, and it's always associated with entertainment, so it's always a money maker.
All right. Well, thanks for that little story.
Okay, Mr. Jallo.
You take care.
Have a great day. A fantastic day.
Okay. I'll try. Let's see what. Check out the WhatsApp here. Okay. Good afternoon. And this is going back to when we were talking about the elderly rights and taking care of our elderly folks. And we had a call from the Honorable McKeeva Bush. This message is saying, "Good afternoon. I'd like to mention a big thank you to Mr. McKeeva Bush for his contribution for the elderly of this country. Mr. Bush has always been very instrumental in the lives of the elderly and has continued to. Thank you." And yes, he did. He certainly did make a contribution as far as elderly care in the Cayman Islands. Well, there was one more in here. What was this? Well, this. I guess this is going back to that same conversation. It's talking about civil servants, which I don't know if I'm taking a quick look at this. Says an issue affecting Cayman Islands government workers and some public sector employees. My understanding is that the older defined benefit pension arrangements changed around the year 2000, and newer employees were placed under defined contribution arrangements. But my question is about health care in retirement. After someone gives decades of service to the government, their body may need more medical care as they get older, and that is the very time some retirees find themselves without the health care support they expect. How is it fair for some who dedicated their working lives serving the country to reach retirement and then struggle to access health care? Should this be reviewed? People who have spent their lives contributing to the Cayman Islands deserve security and support in their retirement, especially when their health needs increase. Now, I do know that there are a certain sector of civil servants who got kind of caught in between that change. And one of the things that I've heard about it is they having to go, in order to get the medical benefits that others are getting, they would have to go and declare themselves indigent. And by declaring themselves indigent, then they would be able to access the health care that other civil servants get in retirement through a sort of assisted assistance from the government as an indigent. Now, that's a pretty heavy word when you go and say, I'm an indigent, when you never think of yourself as being in that category. And I guess it can be a matter of pride to go and have yourself saying, I'm an indigent. It's not a word that, a lot of people would want to adopt and have themselves labeled as. So yeah, maybe our WhatsApp messenger here is right that maybe that has to be reviewed so as to give people who are in that situation, access to health care that, or access to health care without having to be labeled an indigent. Maybe you say, well, forget your pride, just do it and get access to the medical care. Well, sometimes people just can't bring themselves to do that. Yes, and I guess you have to reach a state of being in dire straits before that you would willingly adopt that label of being an indigent, being declared an indigent. But I think it's not only that aspect of healthcare that would need to be reviewed. I think healthcare in general needs a good examination. Health insurance coverage, it's a law. You must have health insurance. Everybody's supposed to have health insurance in the Cayman Islands, right? And the main issue with a lot of people is, are we getting value for the money that you pay? Especially at that very lower end, where you have this minimum out of hospital allowance of $400 for outpatient care. As has been said many times before, you go to the doctor for a complaint, and by the time you get through with the doctor, almost all of that $400 is gone. And now the doctor's telling you got to get a test for this and get, this diagnostic exam. It's gone. And that's something we should be talking about. It's 2:00, and that is news time, so let's see what's making headlines.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. Long-term community leader Deniston Tibbetts has been formally recognized for a lifetime of service. The Order of the Cayman Islands insignia, warrant, and citation were presented during a private investiture ceremony led by Premier Andre Ebanks, with Mr. Tibbetts' daughters accepting the honor on his behalf as he is unwell. Mr. Tibbetts is celebrated for more than 5 decades with the Lions Club of Grand Cayman and his long service as president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, helping the less fortunate and preserving Caymanian maritime heritage. In international headlines, German authorities are investigating a deadly shooting at a youth welfare facility in the northern town of Stade. 6 people are dead, including 4 women and 2 men, and several others wounded, some seriously, after gunfire erupted at a residential center for pregnant women and young mothers. Police say the suspected shooter is under arrest, and 2 other people are being questioned as officers work to establish the motive and circumstances behind the attack. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain high, even as both sides try to preserve a fragile interim deal to end their war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran has requested a meeting with talks set for Tuesday in Doha, but a senior Iranian negotiator is publicly denying that any new talks have been scheduled. The interim agreement reached earlier this month calls for Iran to dilute its enriched uranium stockpile and ease some sanctions, while giving both sides 60 days to negotiate a broader settlement and keep vital oil shipping lanes open. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's take a brief look at the weather here. The afternoon forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies, and here in Georgetown it is 90 degrees, but it feels like 104. And the winds out of the south-southeast at a little bit over 8 knots with a relative humidity of 69%. And taking a look at the forecast for this evening, we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, temperatures in the low 80s, and winds out of the east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas running at 3 to 5 feet. And sunset is at 7:06. The outlook is calling for an increase in cloud cover, and that is expected late Tuesday as atmospheric moisture increases with the passage of a tropical wave to the south of the area. And no development expected out of that. El Nino doing its job in keeping the storms suppressed. Taking a look at the National Hurricane Center in Miami's hurricane map, well, got a little system, but that's off the southeast coast of the U.S., so we don't have to worry about that, but not much chance of development there at any rate. So we're into our last, our last 25 minutes here. What's on your mind, Cayman? Pick up the phone and express yourself. Give me a call. You can reach our studio on 1-800-534-8255. That is courtesy of Flo. You can also reach the studio on 949-8037 or 949-6990, and on WhatsApp 925-3261. So I've been talking about this story here in today's Compass about housing, and some people telling their stories as far as the struggles of getting their first home in the Cayman Islands. But let's go to the WhatsApp call there. We have someone just called in. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, John.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay.
What's on your mind today?
concerning the cost of living in Cayman,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the most discouraging thing a person can face when they're working is that they're not able to save anything, especially young people.
Hard to get ahead.
Yeah, it's just, it feels as though we're practically working for nothing. And that is a situation that a lot of people are facing now in Cayman. I hear the government going to give people a break for 3 months, I think you said it was.
For on the fuel fuel tax. Is that what you're talking about? That there won't be, they've waived the import duty on fuel for CUC. Hello?
So after a few months, then it's going to be back to normal again. Then concerning CUC bills, right?
Well, for now, anyway. And I guess it depends on what happens with the war and the fuel prices. I know oil has come down a little bit since last week. If this ceasefire can hold, but they were shooting at each other just the other day. What was it, yesterday? They fired some missiles, so nobody knows where this is going.
Okay, that's why companies in Cayman have to join together with the government and stop being greedy to help bring down the cost of living in Cayman. If they really love the Cayman Islands and love the people of the Cayman Islands, especially Caymanian people who own some of these businesses or shareholders in some of these businesses, they have to realize that they also have to help the government in any way possible that they can in order to bring down the cost of living. They can't continue blaming certain things that are going on in the world or blaming whatever they can find excuses for in order to increase their rates. Because it's very discouraging when people start to save, like say if a person is able to save $300 a month, and then the cost of living goes up and takes away $175 out of that 300, and then that $75 then, or that $125 then that they start saving, then cost of living goes up again, then it takes away $75 when that's 125, and then when this just keeps continue going, then cost of living goes up again, then it takes away the $50 then that they were saving then. So if the government doesn't control the cost of living and continues to allow it to go up, that people aren't able to save anything, especially our young people, that's very discouraging. And I hear them talking about stress, depression, and anxiety causes mental illness. The government knows this. So if these are the things that cause mental illness, then these are things that are possible, that are going to happen to a lot of Caymanian people facing the cost of living and feeling hopeless and being stressed and depressed. and filled with anxiety, not knowing what the future holds. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I was searching for an email. I'm sure some other people received it from CUC about the rates. And it's good news and bad news. One of those kind of things, right? I finally found it here. Fuel costs are increasing. This was a email that came out, on the 25th. It says, we understand the rising fuel costs are impacting households in many ways. This month, the fuel cost on electricity bills has increased from 14 cents to 195.195 per kilowatt hour. For customers who qualify, the government's fuel relief program will cap cost at 18 cents per kilowatt hour for June through September. Usage at a maximum of 2,000 kilowatt hours. The government has expanded the program, and households with energy consumption up to 3,500 kilowatt hours per month will now be eligible for relief on the first 2,000 kilowatt hours. So the government is, again, making another move here to try and help electricity consumers with this increasing cost of electricity due to the cost of fuel. So let me read that again. The government has expanded the program, and households with energy consumption up to 3,500 kilowatt hours per month will now be eligible for relief on the first 2,000 kilowatt hours. So that will include a lot more people, because they have moved up the consumption to 3,500 for those that would be eligible for the cap fuel cost at 18 cents, whereas those who don't qualify will be paying over 19 cents. And it makes a difference. It would make a difference on your bill. And they also had a graph here where, back in April, the fuel cost was at 13 cents per kilowatt hour. Then it went to 14 cents in May, and in June up to 19. And then it's still going to move higher for next month. The fuel cost for July is estimated to be above 0.225 cents per kilowatt hours in July. Even with the government credit, customers will still pay more than last month. They end this with that by the time we get to July at 0.225 cents per kilowatt hours, that's still a 29% increase in fuel costs between May and June. So quite a jump. And of course, that's being caused by external forces, because if you want the oil, you got to pay for it. We have a couple of callers, but we're going to take a break first and come back. Stay with us.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
It's here. Multi-year trade and business licenses are now available. You heard right. You can apply for TBLs up to 5 years. Save time, reduce paperwork, and focus on growing your business. Apply online at dci.gov.ky. Apply for your multi-year trade and business licenses today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And before we go to the phones, just finish off this email here from CUC advising people about their air conditioning. Air conditioning accounts for about 60% of the average electricity bill, especially this time of year. As temperatures rise, your AC works harder, increasing energy use even if your thermostat settings stay the same. You get that? The thermostats are the same, but when it gets hotter, it has to work harder to keep it at that temp. Simple ways to manage costs went away. Set AC to 87 degrees or higher, or turn it off. I've gotten into debates with people about that, whether you turn off the AC while you go to work, or you set it at a high temperature, right? So they're advising when you're away, when you go to work, set it at 87 or higher, or turn it off. When home, keep AC at 78 or higher. Well, I know people that like to run it at 75, 74. That'll drive your bill up. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's get our calls in here. We're running out of time. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, Charles. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I didn't know if you could hear me or not. Yes, that's very sensible instructions to follow. That's all you do. Turn it off and you go, and then try to do without turning it on at all. Use stand-up fans and so forth. Just burn as much as current. Every year, try to just do what we did 50 years ago. We did without it. Most houses power, not air conditioned, and we lived. It's hard for young people to get used to that. Yes, I saw also was very interested in your program this morning. I mean, early on with the DJ and so forth, and those good people encouraging us to be active. It's very, very important. Very important. You can be active in the house, just like they said, when you're doing anything. If you march your feet like you're marching or something like that, while you're doing your little bit stuff in your house, cleaning them, and all, just try to do that and keep moving, bending. So forth. Every little bit of exercise helps, and all that. And
any movement is better than no movement.
Better than no movement, and so it's good to be doing this. And the price of oil had gone down, I think, to $70.
Yeah, it did drop.
A barrel.
It did drop.
That's a good drop, and we've got to realize it's set by OPEC. Our oil supply never varied at all during any provocation in Strait of Hormuz and all that. War there, and the Venezuela have always had that from Great Britain with Egypt in 1957 and so forth. It's always been a contention there. It always will be. And the only thing can happen is if President Trump is able to, I don't see anyone that's going to be able to do that, is get out of OPEC and be independent of them. And that would follow with Trinidad and so forth. They're shipping a lot of oil to the U.S. The U.S. is where we get our oil from.
Was one of those Middle East countries that dropped out of OPEC and said they were going to pump the amount of oil they wanted to pump? I can't remember which one it is, though.
I don't know, but I know they set saying this OPEC has been set the prices and so forth. But I believe we're going to be pulling out of that very soon. I think so. I hope so anyhow. And be more realistic for the ordinary person. And I'm so glad my friend Manderson has gotten the Tibbets that award. And
yes,
I really am. I know he isn't very well now at all. Anyhow, I'm glad for the family. We've been close for way over 50 years now. Just want to say this. I noticed there's a sort of, I guess you sense it too, panic to show our Caymanian culture and many things every day. We're talking about it and talking about impressing on the public our Caymanian culture, and that is so good. And it's a little late. We, with so many 140 different nationalities, all the pressure from the other cultures here to adapt to them. The young people really know nothing much about our culture and so forth, and music we used to play and everything, even talking and so forth. But the thing I'd suggested years ago, I was laughed at, but some people agree with me and still now, and that's how the U.S. was able to preserve their, we always blaming the U.S. and ridiculing and making fun and cursing them and whatever. Anyhow, they did it with the Indians, the original indigenous people, the Red Indians. They settled them on huge reservations, and for well 100 years now, they've been given special privileges that no other citizens have, special tax benefits by far, and special laws made to help them, to keep them safe, and all that, and special lakes to get the best salmon from, thousands of acres of lakes and so forth, and many things. And I made
the Seminoles have made the best of that, right?
Yes, and
with the casinos.
big time, and with the casinos and other things. You've got to realize it's a federal law to go on any Indian reservation if you have measles. That's a federal crime. That's how it is, because they have no immunity to it. And that went for some of the old islands over in Indonesia and so forth too many years ago. The same problem. No immunity, a simple thing like measles. It's a killer. But I suggested that each district, each of the 5 original districts, we have 19 now for political reasons and so forth. And I won't go into that, but each of the 5 districts, the government could easily set aside 30 acres. I'm sure of that. We've got 3,800 acres or something in the National Trust. That's a lot. And there's more over there in the Bracken. But especially...
So what would they do with those that acreage? What were they going to do?
We could do 30 acres and make it only available to generational Caymanians and so forth, and their descendants, and set up like things, the original things we used to do, which is what I keep talking about, keep saying and keep presenting to the public, and the costumes and the dances and the different things we did. It could easily be done 30 acres at each, or even more than that. The bigger districts and so forth. And
well, listen, I got to go because I got 2 callers I need to try and squeeze in here. Okay.
Ahead with that, and I just thought I'd put that out again.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the call. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, fine, thanks. I'm sorry I saw you on Friday. I wanted to say hi, but unfortunately, where you were sitting and where I was standing, I wasn't able to. I attended the rededication there for Mr.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but it was nice.
Renaming of the building.
Yes. Quickly, I wanted to say you distracted me when I was been on hold for so long, but I want to implore the government. I want to request the government to please look into trying to find a solution for these properties, these rental properties that use sub-meters, because it is, I myself is going through a situation with my landlord, but I know so many people have come to me in distress of these properties that have meters, sub-meters for CUC and Water Authority. Now, CUC, I understand, I called there even up until this morning. I understand that they encourage the sub-meters, but they do not have anything to do with it. They do not have any authority over them. That it is the meters have to be the landlords have to go through planning, and planning oversees not the installation, but planning oversees the meters,
installation,
so the compliance and that sort of thing. And I believe it's time that Water Authority government needs to do something to protect tenants. I know
so
you're working.
Tell us, we're running out of time. What problem crops up because of that?
Okay, say for example, a property that has 11 units and it's an old property, and the landlord installed his own individual water meters on each unit from in the 80s, and then those units were diverted out to a main Water Authority unit, and the tenants are getting billed for water that is discretionary. The usage is questionable. Some of the meters do not have any numbers on them. I believe it's time that government changes the law.
Numbers.
Some of the numbers are all worn off. I believe it's time that government changes the laws or the policies or procedures, that every apartment that is individually situated has to have their own water meter, the same as CUC mandates has to have. Every apartment that is individually separated has to have its own utility meter, because people are getting juked out of paying for water usage that they're not using, and Water Authority is saying they have nothing to do with it. They can't do anything. There's no way for tenants to go and get relief in these situations. Now, if they're renting from properties that includes lights and water, or CUC, like I explained with CUC just now, there has to be something done. That's all I can say. Something needs to be done. I'll probably call back tomorrow and elaborate on it a bit more.
Well, there's supposed to be a new tenant-landlord act coming up.
Right.
So that would be a good place to put that in.
Yes, I've been very, very instrumental in trying to advocate for that, but that may be limited and not have much to do with resources and utilities, because those fall under a separate bracket. Now, the plan is to have a grievance board, from what I've seen, to have a grievance board where tenants can go to, but that may still not have that much power and authority to deal with these utility companies. And we can't go to off-reg, because off-reg manages the act. You can
the utilities.
About the act.
Well, listen, we're going to have to pick this up at another time.
Tomorrow, yes, I'll call back and finish up.
Yeah, call tomorrow.
Talk to you.
All right, you take care. Have a good afternoon. It's time for me to wrap things up here. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all the calls. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.